Everyone starts in a certain place and they realize that we have to change to some degree. And in order to change, that means you're gonna have to ruffle a few feathers, right? Create a little bit of trouble, in a sense. My philosophy is that that's critical to innovation as a whole, because if we spend our time just as a problem solver, we are already behind the 8 ball, because we're solving problems that exist today versus causing the disruption of what needs to change for tomorrow. So somebody's got to come in and help shake things up to see what a different alternative future could be and how the heck do we get there.
It's not a term that I coined, so Guerrilla Moments is something I give all credit to Dr. David Pate. He's the CEO of St. Luke's Health System in Boise, Idaho. And his basic principle was that in healthcare, there are stories of good that happen every day. And so the first story he told was of an example of at his organization, a nurse, when a patient was brought in by an ambulance as a result of a fire at his apartment, had lost the shoes on his feet and the clothes had burned on his back. And the celebration of a Guerrilla Moment for St. Luke's was that instant at the end of healing and caring for that patient when the nurse took her shoes off and gave them to the gentleman and said, "We want you to be on your way home, but with a new pair of shoes."
Wow.
For us, the Guerrilla Moments are just those things that stand out as remarkable stories of doing good for others.
Yeah.
They don't always have a great ending, but we know that we're trying our best, and that's, I think, a Guerrilla Moment in a nutshell.
We have found a huge growing part of this segment of our podcast is a group that is not in senior living, and they're a young crowd, and that younger generation, they are some of the most mission-driven people, and they're seeking something that is greater than a job to go and do every day. I think we have a really great opportunity when you talk about recruiting talent into our industry to use some what have not been for senior living traditional recruiting methods and platforms and digital media.
And we can just kind of take our show on the road. And then that allowed us to add video. And then that allowed us to start doing transcriptions. So now we have a completely dynamic platform that covers written word, audio, and video that we can leverage across all platforms to gain and attract attention.
One of the things that I would encourage young leaders, and I wish I would have had someone tell me this when I was a young leader, is that be intentional about honoring the uniqueness and individuality and story of everyone in our care, and that includes our team members. And instead of responding to that in a disciplinary way, we're really able to wrap them in, right? And understand and be empathetic, take action to do something about it. And then that builds loyalty and trust, which translates into great care and outcomes for our residents and patients. So honoring the uniqueness and individuality of all of those in our care, including our team members.
What's powerful in your podcast is this is a new pathway to people that aren't just hearing it firsthand. That's why I always tell people I wish the public could come to these events and see that these disparate parts of healthcare that are just driving them crazy and a source of frustration are together, trying to get better, trying to share these stories out, because I think that's the power, and you guys are front and center.
You might be onto something.
Well,
maybe the public should come to these events.
Maybe they should.
Ryan is the
What
new
is
event
it?
planner for having the
boy,
general
I don't know.
public to the next
Well,
event.
and
you heard it here
I
first.
may not be qualified.
You heard it here
for
first.
news.
Yeah.
well,
Because the more that you enrich someone's life, the more you build that more authentic connection, which is tied to that loyalty and that advocacy. And how do you create these just raving fans that absolutely love you because you are demonstrating a love for them and making sure that the last of their years are the most fantastic. I love the opportunity in this particular industry, in the senior living care facilities, to make these moments really remarkable.
We want the future leaders of tomorrow, and they're out there today. So if you're there, stay with us and we'll get you where you need to go. And if you're not there, then come join us.
so awesome. That's our hashtag, join us. That's